Got two brand new decks of cards, and I won't tell her how to do that as I tell her how to write. Here's a new challenger already out here. He's in a hurry. Mark Beatty. Hello, Mark.
Nice to meet you.
My pleasure. Why don't you tell us something about yourself?
I'm Mark Beatty. I'm a native Texan and proud of it. I go to the University of Texas Law School, and I work in the Texas House of Representatives, and contrary to popular opinion, I don't own an oil well.
Not all Texans are rich, huh?
No, it's surprising, isn't it?
We're happy to have you here with us. You got your cards?
I did.
Then good luck. We will start the best 2 out of 3 with a question to the champion. Phyllis, the question to you. We asked 100 second grade kids, have you ever thought that the boogeyman was going to get you? How many second graders have thought, yeah, the boogeyman was going to get them? All heard about the boogeyman when you were a kid?
When I was in second grade, all the older kids used to tell me, oh, you better hurry along because the boogeyman's going to come after you. I'd have to say that's a pretty high number. I'd say about 70.
70 out of 100. They're afraid the boogeyman was going to get them, Mark.
I'm 23 years old, and I still think the boogeyman's going to get me sometimes. And so in second grade, I sure did. I'm going to go higher than that.
Even higher than that. Well, the actual number of second graders who thought the proverbial boogeyman was going to get them is 33. Not higher, it's lower.
Okay.
Phyllis.
Let's have a good one.
Phyllis wants a good one. Is she going to get it? She is not.
Oh, no, change that card, please.
Changing it to a jack.
All right, lower than the jack.
Lower than the jack, a 5.
Okay. Higher than the 5.
Higher than the 5, a 6.
I'm going to freeze at the 6.
Move over the freeze bar and protect that position. And Mark, here's your first question. Mark, we asked 100 people, would you approve of a public service draft that required all 18-year-olds to spend 2 years working to improve the country? How many people would approve of a 2-year public service draft for 18-year-olds?
I don't know. I think most people, especially in Texas, conservative state, I think most people are really sold on the free enterprise system, and I'd say that's a fairly low number. Let's say 24.
24 out of 100 would approve of a public service draft.
Well, I think that to help clean up and do everything like that, I think it would be higher than that because people want to see a clean United States.
So you say higher. The actual number of people who'd approve of a public service draft for 18-year-olds is 40. It is much higher.
Okay,
Phyllis.
and change that 6.
You know, when they were drafting me, it wasn't for public service. Phyllis wants to get rid of the 6, and it becomes a queen.
Okay, lower than the queen.
Lower than the queen, a 6 again.
Oh, I'm going to freeze.
Not going to take a chance on that last card. That forces Mark to win a question if he's going to get a crack at it. Phyllis, we found 100 people who have been fired from their job. And we asked them, if the man who fired you came to you and needed a job, and he was the best qualified person for it, would you hire him? How many people would hire the very man who had fired them?
Well, most people don't believe that they should have been fired. So I'm going to have to say that's a pretty low number. I have to say only about 25.
25 out of 100 would hire the man who fired them if he was the best qualified.
I don't know. I've got a little bit more faith in people than that. I think that they'd be a little bit more objective, and I'll say higher.
Higher.
A little bit higher.
The actual number of people who would hire the man who fired them is 48. Mark is right.
All right.
And now he gets a look at his base card. And Mark has a 4.
A 4. Okay, I'm going to keep it, and I'll go higher.
Higher than a 4. A 5.
Okay. I'm going to go higher.
He's taking a risk. Is he right? No, a 3 is not higher. Back to the base card, giving Phyllis a free chance to call off the 6
well,
for the game.
I'm going to have to go with the odds here, and I'm going to have to say higher than that.
If it's
6.
higher, Phyllis has the win number 1. No. No, she couldn't do it. Janice will fill in the spaces, setting up sudden death. And again, someone's going to win it right now. Mark, we found 100 unmarried couples who are living together. And we asked them, has a landlord ever refused to rent to you because you were not married? How many unmarried couples said a landlord did refuse to rent to them because they were living together out of wedlock?
I don't know. In today's day and age, it's a more liberalized society, and I would think that would be a fairly low number. I'm going to say 21.
Mark says 21 out of 100 have met that resistance.
No, well, I think that people still kind of look down upon it, just a little. I have to say it's a little bit higher than that.
Higher. This decides control, and the actual number of unmarried couples who were refused an apartment because they were living together out of wedlock is 8. It is not higher.
Yeah.
Mark gets control.
Okay.
Well, Mark, you've got control, but you're faced with an interesting problem because with a good base card of 4, you've got to go all the way with 4 cards. Phyllis, near the middle with a 6, needs only 1. What are you going to do? Play it or pass it?
Even though Phyllis only needs 1 more card, I'm going to have to pass it.
So it comes down to this,
Okay.
Phyllis. Call it right, you win. Call it wrong, and you lose.
It didn't work before, but I'm going to have to go again and say higher with that 6.
Higher than a 6. It is So it's game one of the champion, and Mark will try to make a comeback right after this commercial break.